Yeah, I mean it's immediate. It seems fairly immediate that they are just on. They're all in this together. They would take a bullet for each other. Like, not that night. I think it. It's that going to the club.
They bring in a guy they knocked out in the tea house, and Dolph Lundgren's like, okay, oh yeah, Boone, who's your boss, right? And the guy's not talking. And Dolph Lundgren must know when he rips this man's shirt off that he's going to see a Yakuza tattoo.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just weird that he did it, period. But then I guess this offshoot that Tagawa runs is differently tattooed, right? That must be the thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess, like, with the Iron Claw, maybe Iron Claw tattoos are different than, yeah.
Because Dolph Lundgren acts like his whole world falls apart.
Right.
And he doesn't really act. It's very strange. It's a strange moment where he just sort of like, he looks like he's going through a lot, but his face isn't really moving. But he's very shocked, and that's when Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee go in the back, and they start talking, and this is when they both say, no one likes us, and then, like, pretty immediately, they're both like, maybe we should like each other, and they're like, yeah, you're a good friend of mine now. And this is one of two times where Brandon Lee sort of passively tosses aside ritualistic suicide in Japanese culture.
Like...
He does it with Tia Carrera's character, and he does it here, because this guy takes off his shirt, and he gets on his knees, and he's about to break his own neck. And Brandon Lee's like, what's this guy doing?
What's this jackass doing?
Yeah.
He's arranging stuff, and there's a knife on the table. Or this one is not, but...
Yeah, but then he does it, and this is what you were talking about. This random dude walks in the room, and he's like, uh-oh, what happened? Oh, boy. This, again, is about the level with which he reacts.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's... Yeah. Why didn't the chief come in there and it's like, damn it, Kenner?
I don't know. Like, yeah, it's just like this guy is just coming in to use the room and just like, what? Oh, damn it.
Hey, Kenner, we got the room at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. It's just like a Zoom meeting or a conference meeting to where this guy's just perturbed.
I'm giving my kid a tour of the building. Oh, no.
Oh, Jesus. He wanted to fill out his Columbia House, CDs list or his VHS list.
So Kenner, basically, this man is killed in Kenner's custody. And Kenner and Murata just walk away. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
We cut to
They
the
don't
next
even
scene
help clean it up or anything.
No.
They don't do anything. Yeah.
I don't know who does.
Yeah.
And you just sort of get the two of them off to the next adventure. I think there's so many great fight scenes in this movie. I really enjoy the fight choreography in this. What do you think about it, Mark?
Yeah.
This is right up my alley. It's cheesy. It's well shot. There's a lot of extended shots. And then we get to see I think my first favorite fight scene is the club fight scene. But before we get into the club fight scene, I want to talk about of course, maybe, I don't know if there's iconic scenes in this movie, because it's not necessarily a major motion picture that sticks with people a lot, but I think this party scene is pretty fucking insane.
How I think of this scene, if you had a Nickelodeon or an MTV Awards, like back then, movie, if you had an MTV Movie Awards for just like most, and it would be like most up moment in the movie, like, or something like that, or like this would be it. Like, this is this pulls you away from everything, and I will give it credit to say that this kind of sets the bar for like, oh shit, like there's dangerous shit going on here.
Yeah.
Like,
it's certainly a pretty intense and gruesome villain introduction.
Right.
To set the scene, this woman has snitched, played by Renee Griffin. She snitched to Tanaka, who owns the other club that this guy wants to take over, and she says this guy's bad news. She doesn't know she's being recorded. She gets brought into his private office, surrounded by his goons, and... Well, first, when we meet her, she's smoking crack.
I was hoping you weren't just going to glaze over that fun fact. That
we see her smoking ice immediately. This poor woman is in bad shape, and she gets taken in to see the guy, and it's really awful.
So first, let's back up.
Yeah.
That pipe, it reminds me of like the progression of beepers. How beepers got bigger, like they were big, then got smaller, and cell phones too. But that is like the beeper, the clear beeper of crack pipes. That is like
surely they don't all look like this, or this is specific ice pipe.
Yeah, but that thing is like a beaker. It's like a scientific project thing. I mean, that's
big.
Yeah.
And they all seem to be the same because I don't know if it's the same one they use. I know she has one, and then when they give her ice in the office, it's the same kind.
Out of his little ice tray? The ice tray that he has right there.
We get to see him, and he confronts her about it, plays the tape. She says she tries to get out of it by sleeping with the guy, and he's like, okay, we can do this. She's going to have sex with him in front of all of his friends, and that's sort of the thing. She goes, I'll do you in front of all these guys. And the music gets a little dark, and we get to see some boobs again.
Yeah. Great ones. I'm not afraid to say it. They're great.
Yeah, she's a former Playboy model. I don't know if she was a centerfold, but she certainly had her place in the Playboy. He reaches away from her, turns on the camera. The camera's made in Japan. I feel like they did that on purpose. Japan's like infiltrating the States now. Like this Yakuza is a serious business. And then he reaches for a sword, gets handed the sword, and violently and grotesquely cuts this woman's head off and makes poor Marcus walk home alone thinking about everything.
Oh, man. Like, I wonder if that was one. I bet you there was, because that scene does seem like it was, like, that's not the original cut of how it was cut. I bet you there's more to that scene somewhere.
Yeah.
In Van Nuys, California, in a now defunct factory that used to be a porn studio, in the back of a wash closet, there is a box of 35 millimeter film of Showdown in Little Tokyo that has the unedited version of that.
Gosh, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to, when they release that extended Blu-ray cut one day.
I just imagine the guy that we always joke about to the audience too. If you're watching Showdown in Little Tokyo, in this scene where all his men are standing around about to watch her either have sex or decapitate. Maybe they don't know which way it's going to go. Maybe they're like, maybe he is going to have sex with her.
Maybe this is the time he finally does it.
Yeah,
you find out he's sort of impotent.
Yeah, but we always have the sumo guy. He appears in all the scenes pretty much until the death of him in the bathhouse. But it's it's just like that he has that look of like, I'm glad I'm here, but in a way, I wish I would have taken another route.
But I would love a Cobra Kai style series about that guy. Like, he goes home, his whole wardrobe is flower shirts.
Right. Yeah,
because every scene he's wearing a flower
all
shirt.
All printed, yeah.
All printed. How's your day, honey? Ooh, I saw some shit today.
Yeah. You better not be watching Tanaka have sex with people again. And he's like, no.
No, that's not me. No. He just really likes it. It's the only way he can do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that scene, just the mix of nudity and violence and just complete disrespect of women in general. It's very much Game of Thrones-ish in that way. Like, I guess it certainly doesn't make you want to see this villain succeed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because, we get, that how he treats women, that he has a fetish to apparently, as Kenner said, he can't get it up without watching, a woman, in danger or about to die or something, like that. And then just feeding her meth from his desk bowl of ice. And
I'll say, there's never really... This movie doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
What's the Bechdel test?
Bechdel test is, I'm not sure the specifics, so that makes me sound like an ass, but basically there are certain things like, does a woman have a conversation with another woman that's not about a man? Mm-hmm. Does a woman have a certain amount of speaking time? Is a woman hit? All these things are sort of like Oh,
in movies, not in real
yes,
life. Okay,
no,
okay.
In movies, and
okay,
so
gotcha.
This certainly doesn't pass that. The only lead female character hardly says any words, and when she does, they're about cum, and so it doesn't age well. But they behead her, they find the body, and we get this whole layout of the exposition of the drug problem, which I love, because I'm going to misquote it, but you get this harsh sort of, I guess, maybe this is Kenner's superior, maybe this is Chief.
Yeah. I don't know if it is or not. Like, I'm always lost on that. I don't know the pecking order here. LAPD,
it's not very clear.
And ATF, yeah.
And the woman's like, this woman had her head cut off with a sharp object. It was like a sword. Yeah, a sword. And it's like, if this stuff hits the street, it's gonna make meth look like Kansas or something like that. Like, I love whenever you compare something like, you want to know how bad this drug is? If it happens, it's gonna be this bad. It'll make the worst look like the best. After that, Marcus, what's one of your favorite parts?
I mean, of course, the bathhouse is fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and just talk about real quick, and we'll just lump it into one umbrella. You touched on it a little bit ago, but Brandon Lee's just douchebagginess in this movie.
Oh, the club fight scene. Yeah, we should talk about that.
I mean, you get Kenner telling him about the ways of sushi and how these Japanese people, these businessmen, go about business in a different way than he's used to. Yeah. And he's heard of sushi and he hates it, right? He has heard of sushi.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Like, the idea of sushi being this thing is just wild in 91 to go back and look at the time capsule of like, oh, Mexican food will always make you shit really.
Right. And it's always like back then, too, in the 80s and 90s, whenever someone brought up sushi, it's like, oh, raw fish, like that kind of thing. Like, and that's what it is for the most part, but it's just like that's how everybody immediately took it. But in this club, of course, we have the sushi being eaten off naked white women. And I believe they're all white. I don't remember seeing any of ethnicity kind of mixed in there.
Yeah.
But it's
Brandon
Lee immediately is just, he has a hard-on when he walks through the door. I bet you.
And he's not afraid to show it. I think the worst part and the worst display of Brandon Lee's character is, we know that this woman's best friend has just been murdered violently.
The day before, right? That was the night before.
All she knows is that she can't find her friend. She doesn't know she's been murdered yet. And so Kenner says, don't tell her that her friend's dead. He's like, okay, I won't. And
it should be known in cop work that you probably don't want to mention that too, like this guy.
Let's see where she's at.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you see that singer up there? And he's like, oh, God, yeah. So when she comes over to talk to him, like, they're talking about her friend, and she doesn't know she's dead, which is kind of just sad. Like, he's like, when was the last time you saw her? It's like this, and then she walks away for a second, and Brandon Lee gives this, like, very close-up shot of his face just going like, oh, yeah. It's, he has no patience for mourning, I guess.
No. It's like, I don't know, it's that, he just, it's funny, like, in a sense of how innocent Brandon Lee looks in this movie, too. Like, it's kind of like a 13-year-old would act, and that's how it reminds me of, kind of, in the sense of sexuality, whenever he's...
It's like this scene when he walks into the club is written by a 13-year-old. That's exactly right. Yeah. So we get a great fight scene after that weird interrogation that Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee go through. It's a great fight scene. Throws change in the face. This is when they get like, you know what? We could work together to fight people. Really, the fight is like that. He uses Kenner as a springboard. They throw guys into each other. They kick chairs. They save each other's life. At one point, we get a from Brandon Lee. Yeah. But I want to skip to when Tia Carrere's character gets kidnapped, and she gets taken to this lush Malibu estate, but owned by Mr. Yoshida, and she's going to kill herself because she's been dishonored. But Kenner's like, go follow the car that just left. I'm going to go get her. And once again, Brandon Lee's like, I don't know. He's like, wait, what's she doing?
What's she doing? She's aligning. She's aligning things in front of her.
Yeah, it looks like somebody left a big knife out.
Yeah.